Melody Farris was once a well-regarded figure in her Georgia community, married to Gary Wayne Farris, a prominent attorney with a reputation for his sharp legal acumen and dedication to his family. However, their seemingly normal life unraveled into a dark tale of betrayal, violence, and murder. Here's a deep dive into Melody's life, her family dynamics, and the circumstances surrounding the crime that shocked Cherokee County. For more content just like this, we hope you'll check out our website, graveyardants.com. There we have a wide variety of content, ranging from true crime, both old and new. We also have stuff like true stories of ghosts and hauntings. There's things like alien abduction stories and UFOs, unsolved mysteries, and so much more. Check it out, follow us on social media, and by all means tell your friends about us. Now, let us get right to this week's story. Melody Farris, born and raised in the southern United States, was known for her charisma and strong community ties. She and Gary married in the 1980s, building a life centered on their shared property in Alpharetta, Georgia. The couple had 4 children together, Scott, Emily, and 2 others, creating what appeared to be a picture-perfect family. Despite outward appearances, friends and neighbors hinted at underlying tensions within marriage. Over the years, the family endured financial challenges and marital discord. Gary, an accomplished attorney, was described as a loving father and grandfather, known for his work ethic and generosity. Melody, on the other hand, was seen as more private, though community members occasionally noted signs of strain between the couple. Gary Farris, on the other hand, was a prominent attorney known for his unwavering commitment to justice and his deep compassion for his clients. Born into a family that valued education and service, he pursued a career in law with the intent to make a meaningful impact on the lives of those around him. His legal practice was characterized by a strong ethical foundation, where he prioritized integrity and fairness in every case he handled. Colleagues often described him as not only skilled in litigation, but also as someone who genuinely cared about the outcomes for his clients. As an attorney, Gary Farris built a reputation for being both tenacious and empathetic. He specialized in civil rights law, advocating for individuals who face discrimination or injustice. His approach to law was holistic. He believed that understanding the personal circumstances of his clients was crucial to effectively representing them. This philosophy allowed him to connect deeply with those he served, fostering trust and open communication. His courtroom presence was marked by clarity and conviction, earning him respect from peers and adversaries alike. Beyond his professional life, Gary Farris was a devoted husband and father. He cherished his family, often prioritizing their needs above all else. The Farris marriage faced significant turmoil over the years. Testimonies during the trial revealed that Melody had engaged in multiple extramarital affairs, starting as early as 2009. By 2017, she was involved with a man named Roy Barton, a relationship that further eroded trust between her and Gary. Money became another point of contention, with arguments reportedly escalating about financial mismanagement and property issues. Adding to the complexity, Melody was the sole beneficiary of Gary's $2 million life insurance policy, raising questions about her motives when his death was investigated. Their children, particularly Scott and Emily, testified about the toxic environment at home, citing long-standing disputes and erratic behavior from their mother. In July 2018, tragedy struck the Farris family. Gary was reported missing, and days later, his remains were discovered by their son Scott on the family's 10-acre farm. The grisly scene, a burn pile containing Gary's charred bones, initially led investigators to believe he had died in a tragic accident, possibly related to health issues. However, forensic evidence quickly pointed to foul play. A bullet lodged in Gary's rib revealed he had been shot. Investigators also found bloodstains in the home, particularly leading from the kitchen to the basement, suggesting a violent struggle. Additional digital evidence, including suspicious activity on Melody's devices, painted her as the prime suspect. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, working alongside the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, conducted an exhaustive investigation. Melody initially cooperated with law enforcement, suggesting accidental death scenarios and denying any involvement. However, her story began to unravel when inconsistencies arose, including changes in her statements about her relationship with Gary and her whereabouts during the crime. By 2019, investigators had gathered enough evidence to arrest Melody. Her trial was delayed multiple times, but prosecutors worked diligently to build a robust case. They presented over 1,200 pieces of evidence, including forensic findings, financial records, and testimony from family members and neighbors. Melody's trial began in October 2024, and over 18 days, prosecutors laid out a chilling narrative. They argue that Melody had been planning Gary's murder for some time, motivated by financial gain and deep-seated resentment. The jury heard from 36 witnesses, including the Farris children, who offered heartbreaking accounts of their family's unraveling. Scott testified about discovering his father's remains and his growing suspicions of his mother's involvement. Emily provided insight into the long-standing marital issues and Melody's history of infidelity. Meanwhile, the defense tried to shift the blame, suggesting that Scott could have been the perpetrator, a theory the jury ultimately rejected. One of the most shocking things, at least to me, about this case was the fact that Melody Farris blamed one of her sons for the murder when she addressed the court. By most accounts, the family seemed, at least to me, mostly unified in their belief that their mother was the killer, and all evidence seemed to point to that conclusion. The thing that stuck with me, though, was how anyone could throw their own child under the bus, so to speak, unless there was something to it. I know there are some low-life people out there who have no soul or compassion for others, but how can anyone do that to their own child? I watched most of the trial and didn't really see much of a reason why Chris, that's the son that she accused, would have had a motive for murdering his father. The only thing I did see that may even come close was that apparently he was living on the property in an apartment they had in a barn. In one of the texts they brought out in court, it said something to the effect of Gary telling him he needed to find a full-time job. Apparently, Chris worked odd jobs to bring in money and didn't have steady employment. Could it have been a reason? Personally, I don't really think so. If there had been a large level of animosity between the father and son, I think someone would have said something. Everyone in the family pointed their fingers at one person and one person only, and that was Melody Farris. On November 4, 2024, Melody was convicted on all charges, including malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and concealing a death. She showed no visible emotion as the verdict was read. The jury deliberated for 3 days before reaching their decision, influenced by the overwhelming evidence against her. On Thursday, December 5, 2024, Melody Farris was sentenced to life in prison for the 2018 murder of her husband, Gary Wayne Farris, with the possibility of parole after 30 years. During sentencing, Farris claimed her son, Scott, was responsible for the murder. Superior Court Judge David L. Cannon Jr. dismissed her claims, focusing on the trial's evidence, and imposed additional concurrent sentences for concealing the death and making false statements. In all probability, she will never see the outside world again. The Farris children remain divided in their emotions. While some have publicly expressed relief at the conviction, the trauma of losing their father and seeing their mother on trial has left lasting scars. The community, too, has been shaken by the case, with many reflecting on the hidden cracks beneath seemingly perfect facades. The murder of Gary Farris and the subsequent trial of Melody Farris stand as a stark reminder of the fragility of human relationships and the devastating consequences of unresolved conflict. While justice has been served, the story leaves behind a legacy of heartbreak for the Farris family and their community. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Till next time, thanks for watching.